Hi, the curl is in full force today. It's like a ski slope. This is a video inspired by the many news articles relating to Kevin Hart being the host of the Oscars and then not being the host of the Oscars because people dug up some old tweets on him. It's inspired by that, but this is a vague message to any celebrity, any public figure that ever gets exposed for something in their past. Also, hi, this is Editor Connor in the future that is going to be providing a few points of clarification on things that I say throughout the video, so enjoy double me, I guess. A quick summary of the story to catch everyone up who is not yet aware. Kevin Hart was recently named to be the host of the Oscars this coming year, and then very soon after, it was followed up by people digging up old things that he had said on Twitter that were blatantly homophobic. And then Kevin was told to either A, apologize, or B, not host the Oscars. And for some stupid reason, he chose to not host the Oscars, which just doesn't make sense to me. He proceeded to put out 2 Instagram videos explaining why he shouldn't have to apologize, and several tweets explaining why he shouldn't have to apologize, when like, dude, just fucking apologize. I don't understand what it is, whether it's today's culture, whether it's like a pride thing, but people just don't feel like they have to apologize for their past, or they try to justify what they said by it being an older time, thus meaning they shouldn't have to say they're sorry, which is bullshit. People of a different generation love to throw around, oh, the times were different, this was normal back then. But to counter that, that doesn't mean it's normal or okay now. Just because you did something that was wrong in the past does not mean you shouldn't be held accountable for those actions now. Because what you were doing was wrong back then, you just didn't know it yet. I am a firm believer that people change. Kevin's main point was, this was a decade ago, why are we talking about this? I've apologized before. Fair. Honestly fair. I fully believe that you can say some bad things or be a certain type of person and grow from that and evolve from that. But these were allegedly new tweets. New meaning newly discovered. All of these tweets are from a decade ago. They aren't current tweets. Where he was basically saying that he hoped his son would never be gay. And he used homosexuality as a negative adjective in a few jokes. And then he also used the word fag. So he did the magical 3, folks. And what I don't get is, why not just apologize? Why not just say, hey, I've said sorry for this before, I've grown, I'm clearly not homophobic, I'm sorry. Why is that so difficult? And then there's this weird side of the internet that's like, oh, comedians can't be funny anymore, it's just a joke. That's not funny. How is that a joke, and how is it supposed to be funny that if your son turns out to be gay, you don't want to be his parent anymore? How is it funny to directly relate sensitivity, being kind to your male friends and being caring towards your male friends as connected to only something that gay men do? I don't even see where the joke is there. If that's your idea of comedy, maybe you want to try a different career? People are definitely still allowed to make jokes and to make dark situations funny, but I think there's a line drawn when your jokes become harmful. When these things said out of humor could convince people to do wrong things. Making homophobic jokes could convince someone that homophobia is okay. Making light racist comments could normalize racism to somebody, which is not okay and could be very harmful to people. It's just perpetuating stereotypes. It's just normalizing a certain type of lifestyle. When, shocker, it's not normal to be a bad person. It's not normal to be homophobic, racist, xenophobic, a misogynist, any of this. This is not normal. It may have felt normal at one point, like 30, 40, 100 years ago, but guess what? We're not accepting that anymore. That doesn't fly today, okay? Okay. Once you know the history behind the word fag or the word faggot, I personally don't find it funny at all. That is the last word that some people heard before they were murdered. Ha, so funny. That's what I personally think about if I ever hear that word or if I've ever used that word myself. This word very recently was used to harm people. There was nothing nice about that word. People used that word and then killed people. That's how powerful that word is and how fresh those wounds still are. And I want to be respectful of that situation. So my main beef with the situation is just, I don't understand. Like, I get that people grow. I get that you are a mature person. You're a 40-year-old man. But that if that's the case, Just say you're sorry and move on. Say you're sorry and go volunteer at the LGBT Center. Say you're sorry and make a donation to a GLSEN or a GLAAD or the Trevor Project. It's not that hard. It's not like you're lacking in the money department. Now relating it to the whole culture of exposing celebrities, this has been a massive thing over the past few years, but especially over the past year. A message to anyone that is ever gonna have some sort of scandal pop up from their past: just apologize. Apologize, be sincere about it, learn from it, grow from it, show that you are evolving as a human, and then move on, move forward. And the same thing goes for society and everyone who is viewing that person's content. Allow them to move forward, allow them to apologize, and accept that apology. Yes, there are certain things that are pretty damn unforgivable. There are some people, the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, that do not deserve your forgiveness. There is pretty much nothing, in my opinion, they can do to earn that back. They're horrible people, and they're probably gonna die horrible people. That happens. There are 7 billion people in the world. Not everyone is gonna be good. But for people who have said things that are homophobic, for people who have said things that are racist or done anything in those categories, allow them to prove that what they did was purely out of ignorance and not out of their rooted beliefs. Allow them to apologize, allow them to show you that they can change and they can grow, and everything that they did or said was from a lack of education, and that they can move on from that. And they can be good people, and they can be better people. If you ever find yourself in that situation, I'm sure you would love that courtesy as well. You will be thankful that people called you out on something that you did is wrong or incorrect. I have been called out on things that I have said or done that were incorrect, and I am so thankful that someone told me that what I was doing was wrong, because I would have never learned, I would have never grown, I would never be able to educate other people on that topic. Was it from a place of hatred? No, of course not. I know that I'm a good person, as well as I'm sure many of you know that you are good people. It's from a place of ignorance. It's from a place of little experience. It's from a lack of knowledge. This is why education is the best route for these situations, because once you educate somebody and they allow themselves to be educated, there's a trickle-down effect. They will continue that trend and they will educate other people and call them out on their ignorance. And then that ripple effect will continue. So if you ever find yourself in that situation where you're called out and you're clearly doing something wrong, apologize. Mean it. Be sincere. Learn from it. Do something about it and grow. That is where Kevin Hart went wrong. That is where this whole situation really bugged me. It's because clearly what he said was wrong at the time and is still wrong now, and he could have just said sorry. And he could have just said that he's changed. It's so easy. You don't have to go into attack mode. You can lower your pride levels and just be vulnerable for a second. And there's such a gradient to this conversation that it's really hard to give you a broad explanation, because a 13-year-old boy saying something homophobic is completely different from a 40-year-old man who has had multiple sexual misconducts. Very important note here, that was an imaginary example of an imaginary 13-year-old and an imaginary 40-year-old. I don't know who I was talking about. I'm merely just trying to show the gradient. There's this whole cancel culture of people equivocating both of those to being the same or to having the same punishment, and that's just not true. We can't allow us to think that way, because they aren't the same. Someone who accidentally hits a parked car is not the same as someone who tries to run another person over with their car. So you can't give them the same punishment. You can't treat them the same way. It doesn't mean that both people deserve the same thing. So in this case, you can't cancel everyone for doing something wrong, because everyone will do something wrong and then everyone will be canceled. It's a very dangerous, slippery slope. So like I always try to do, come from a place of kindness, come from a place of compassion, and allow yourself to see the good in people before you see the evil in them. Most people aren't bad. They just do bad things from time to time. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the situation. This was very much like the Shawn Mendes video that I did, that I was like, I feel the need to mind dump for a moment. So I hope you enjoyed it, learned something, agree with me, disagree with me, I don't know, leave it all in the comments down below. If you like this video, if you want more videos like it, give this video a big thumbs up and leave it in the comments down below what else you would like me to mind dump on. What a horrible term. Okay, I hope you guys are having a great week and a great life, and I love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.